You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Pixel Venture Podcast. I'm Cory.
And I'm sick.
And I had a very interesting Halloween party.
Did you?
I mean, you talked to me that night.
I did, because you called me that night.
So, so real quick, just as a disclaimer, Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. And for everyone else who's listening to this, I think you already know what the story is going to be like. So, I decided to have a little get-together, a little shindig with some friends. We had to have it after Halloween, because of scheduling. But it was just, it was a fun night. We had a good time playing games and talking and stuff, but Cory went a little crazy. I don't know what to say next.
Define crazy, maybe.
Oh my god. Jake,
Yeah?
I can hear the disappointment in your tone.
No, you literally just said, and Cory went crazy.
Well, yeah.
Moving on.
Well,
you can't just end it there.
okay, like, it was a college party, so you know what college kids do. But at the, like...
Study.
Yeah, we studied. We studied very hard.
Yes.
Where originally it was a mix of studying and talking, and then I just went full study. Just straight studying. Just taking straight shots of studying. And it got to the point where apparently I felt the need to call some friends. So, like, I called Whitney and talked to her for a bit. But then I called you.
Yes.
And I did not remember a lot of the things that I said while we were, like, in that call. But luckily you wrote them down, apparently.
I did.
Do you want to pick some of your favorites?
Let's see, where to start?
Before we get into it, actually, we're going to throw up a picture of what my Halloween costume looked like, right on the screen here. I had wings to cut a bitch, and my eyebrows were perfect. So I was easily the prettiest girl there. But aside from that, let's get into some of your quotes.
You say you were the prettiest girl there, but whenever you mentioned how someone would call you cute, you got, like, really offended by it.
Well, I don't like people calling me cute, but I can be confident in myself.
But that's counterintuitive.
No, that's objectification.
But you can do it.
Yeah.
So, like, so you can say it, but it's bad
Yeah.
when anyone agrees with you.
Exactly.
But it would also
glad
be
we're on the
bad
same
if they
page.
didn't agree with you.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, are they just supposed to call you ugly then? Like, is that what you want?
That's just really mean.
What do you want?
I don't know. Let's just get into the quotes. We don't gotta question my logic. Everyone already knows that I don't have any sense of logic.
I'll question your logic.
Jake,
I'm the logic man.
I'm the logic man. If we ever get to a point where we can sell merch, can we have a t-shirt that just says Logic Man?
Yeah, that'll
Like
be
a superhero.
Yeah, that'll be one of our merch options.
That, and white is just solid wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get into the quotes.
Let's see, I need to read it because I'm the important one now.
Well, okay, context. We were playing Cards Against Humanity when I called Jake, and it was my turn to be the card czar, and everyone was talking over me. I felt
Apparently,
very offended.
people were interrupting you, and you just started shouting, I need to read it because I'm the important one now.
Yeah. I was.
Yeah, you were the important one. Two of them, they were surprisingly similar, were, you don't need bread, you just need Jesus, and I need Jesus. That was one of them. Just A continuous line of thought.
What? 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 What were they talking about bread?
I don't know.
What was
Maybe someone else was heavily under the influence and was planning to consume bread to counteract
at this
it.
point, at this point, the three people that I was with still at that party, they already had their fill. They already they rode that roller coaster and they were coming back down to being like sober or whatever. I was hitting like the I called it stage 8. Cause like I have stages when it comes to that stuff. 1 through 5, I'm fine. 6, it's hard for me to stay like in one place. 7, I get loud. 8, you don't let me get to 8. I got to 8 that night.
There must be a lot of pride in getting to 8.
Absolutely none, but continue. What was the other one? Is this the one that I think about, the water one?
So, your friends were being responsible and trying to get you to drink water to help, balance you out or whatever. And so you respond with...
Because studying is hard work.
And you respond with, I don't need water. I need God.
I don't know what was going through my head. Maybe some Bible verses, but I don't know.
Ooh, speaking of Bible verses.
How is that related?
So, you guys were playing Cards Against Humanity. And I think one of the cards that was played was, the devil himself. And so, your curious self decided to ask, which devil is it? Is it from the Bible or the song?
You already told me these, but they're still just as funny.
Would you mind filling the audience in on which the song it is?
I was thinking of Devil Went Down to Georgia. You know, the one with the fiddle, like, solo?
A totally different devil from the one in the Bible.
I mean, well, I saw it as, like, there's the biblical, like, character, and then there's the character that's in that song. Because, like, there's a bunch of different depictions of the devil,
But it's the devil himself.
Like, it ain't the Cuphead devil.
Not... Who says that it's a different devil?
I mean, that's what I assumed, because it's just, like, different characters, different writers.
But it's not a devil. It's the devil.
So, like, the concept?
Yeah, dude.
Then that's just not a thing, is it? It's an idea.
What makes
Basically,
you say that?
that guy was insane, and he won a fiddle competition against himself. That's what that song is really about.
Where'd you get the gold fiddle from?
Fucking, he peed on it. I don't know.
You want to hear the final quote that you had that I wrote down?
It depends.
Dicks are cool.
I mean, look, Jake. I'm not gonna knock it,
I also told Raul to fight me. Your friend Raul.
Why? Why would you incite violence upon him?
Well, you see, we somehow got on the topic of, like, me having met Raul. Yeah. And he's like, oh, when did I meet him? And I'm like, oh, I kicked your ass in, Gang Beasts. And
even though he completely destroyed us.
Then he's the one who incited a rematch. And so I said, fucking fight me, dude. Come fight me in the streets of Boston. And I think he accepted.
Oh no. I don't know if he remembers. I need to, like, remind him and then just drive him to Boston at, like, a random point and just bring him to Emerson. And you just need to come out and have, like, full just, like, UFC fighting gear.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I'll find it. You can find a props department or something.
I won't put it on.
I'll do it then.
You just throw him out of the car, I'll punch him in the face, and then you drive off.
Yeah. No, I throw him out of the car, he hits the pavement, you punch him in the face, you pick him up, throw him back in my car, and then we drive home. God. We're like planning to beat up my friend. I don't like it.
I hope he doesn't listen.
I mean...
Or else our plan is foiled.
I mean, if he's listening, then he'll think that we're going to do that plan when really there's a secret plan that I am DMing you right now.
Hey, if you're listening, leave a like.
Hey, Raul, if you're okay with us inciting violence against you, hit like.
Give us a like, or it'll be 2 punches.
Yeah. Yeah, leave a like and a comment, and it'll be a slight slap across the knee.
Leave a comment, or it'll be 3 punches.
Oh my god,
it's like the opposite of a reward. Like, have you seen, I know, like, Ubisoft has done it before, but it's like, oh, if you do these things, you'll get points, except it's kind of the opposite, and with punches.
Oh, you mean, like, certain, like, achievements or something?
Not achievements, but, I remember when, I don't know if they still do it, but what Ubisoft would do for, like, the launches of some of their games is, like, if you, like, watched a certain video, you would get, like, X number of points, or if you, like, left a like or a follow or whatever, you'd get these points, and then you could submit those points, into, like, a raffle to win prizes after. So it's like you could submit those points into a raffle to win, like, a hoodie, or the special edition of the game, or, like, in-game goodies and stuff.
It's like that thing that Microsoft tried to do to get people to use Bing, where it was like you get points for searching with it, and then you can redeem that for stuff.
I don't know. The only thing I've heard about Bing is that they changed the logo of Microsoft Edge.
They did?
Yeah.
I mean, I literally never use it, so I wouldn't have noticed.
I found out on Reddit.
I learned it on the internet.
Yeah.
God. How bad is it that we don't notice something that's built into the computer, and we only notice it because of someone on the internet telling us? Like, I know that that's kind of like a minor thing, but
I mean, like, we don't use it, so...
Yeah. Like, I get that, but that also kind of, like, gives me the idea of just, like, a lot of people aren't as observant with, like, things that are in front of them until someone tells them, like, there's something different.
But, like, it's not in front of us. Like, I removed it from my taskbar, like, forever ago.
I mean, I don't have it on the taskbar either, but anytime you open the start menu, it's right there, isn't it?
Whoa, you don't have a taskbar? You don't have a taskbar? What?
Well, I have it so that the taskbar, like, it minimizes, and I don't have any icons on it.
Well, yeah, that's smart. Wait, you don't have icons on it.
I mean, I have, like, when things are open, then yeah, but, like, I rarely have, like, those little, like, toolbar things, because I mainly use my folders.
You mad lad.
What do you mean, mad lad?
I have stuff on my taskbar.
It just, like, I mean, you saw how my old laptop was with the fucking screen, because literally I had like parental controls on mine, and I couldn't uninstall anything, and I couldn't delete any of the icons. So, like, the entire screen was just full of crap. And so now, like, that I have full control of this computer, I'm like, I'm not having any clutter. Like, things will be in folders, things will be labeled. I cleaned up the taskbar, and I'm trying to make it, like, everything runs smoothly.
Cleaned up the taskbar, you fucking destroyed everything on it.
What do you mean?
I have stuff on my taskbar, like, all the stuff that I would have open by default. I, like, have it on there so I can just click down the line.
Well, like, all the stuff that I want to have open by default will pop up because of me logging onto the computer. Like, Discord opens, and Google Chrome will open, and that's the two things I really use. I don't really use my computer for too much other than, like, some minor edits for, like, freelancing gigs or to check up on some friends.
I don't really like it when stuff automatically pops open, though.
I mean, I get that. It's helpful with Discord because it does the auto boot type thing. And like I used to have it like the auto boot type thing for a lot of stuff, and so I disabled a ton of it.
I just don't like it because everything just tries to open all at once and I have to like keep track of it. It's just like, no, I'll open it when I want to.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially if I have to like troubleshoot something and like restart my computer like 5 times. I don't want to have to deal with like a ton of things starting up all at once again and again.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I understand that. I don't know. I have my method of going around my computer and it works for me. But speaking of which, you know what like I've been messing with a lot recently that I'm actually like pretty big fan of?
Golf with your friends?
I mean, well, we can talk about that in a bit, but I wanted to talk about you know, like those kind of like screen mirroring software type things where you can connect to like your computer with your phone and like do stuff on your computer with your phone, or you can record like the screen of your phone and have it be like saved to your hard drive.
Sure.
I've been messing around with it a lot recently because of this idea that I have for a video I want to do where it's based off of like going through certain things with like your apps. And one thing that actually is kind of neat is that you can like go into the like camera app that they have, and you can film things with like that whole UI. And so like it kind of adds like an extra level of immersion for characters and stuff like that, because then it like feels like, oh yeah, you're literally just this guy that's on their phone trying to keep track of everything that's happening around them. But I've been enjoying that because I got that software with a few other things from Humble Bundle a while back, and I never really had a reason to use it. So now I found something.
Ah.
You don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about a golf game.
I don't know what I want to talk about, dude.
I mean, we can talk about the golf game because you mentioned it.
Oh, we played golf with your friends. We like some of the levels.
The Worms one that they just added sucks.
You're only saying that because you lost.
I'm not just saying that because I lost. I'm saying it because the jetpack pissed me off.
I thought
like,
the jetpack was neat, except for the fact that you couldn't like turn at all.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there's a I know that there's an option in the settings to have ball curve, like where you can control your ball after you hit it. But I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of mini golf, wouldn't it? Because like,
does it though?
Well, I mean, a lot of the classic levels, like it will work, like just playing it straight like a normal mini golf type game, where it's all just about positioning. I just feel like if you can just turn and do whatever, you just go max power and just steer the ball like straight into a hole in one.
Well, you don't know how strong like the curve is though.
I guess.
Not to mention, like you're saying it like isn't true to golfing, but like you're also putting a jetpack on a golf ball, so.
Yeah, I know that there's like, there will always be like, you know, creative liberties when it comes to just like how like a video game golf game would control, and that's fine, but I like being able to sort of think about where it's like, oh, this could be real, like this could be a mini golf course that I could go out and play at myself, which I mean the Worms one is absolutely not. That's purely like a tie-in type thing. But then that forest level one that we played, like I could see that being a legitimate golf course.
To be fair, we also used stars as golf balls.
Well, yeah, we messed around with the setting for well, that lets you change your balls on the fly, and it was pretty fun. Like, while there were some moments that were you know, stressful, I enjoy golf with your friends a lot. I didn't really play it too much when I first picked it up because I bought it to play with a few random people that I met online, and then we never talked again. And so it was nice being able to just mess with it the other night.
Yeah.
But yeah, what other games have we been messing with? Because I know we tried to play Death Road to Canada, but I was just not having it last night.
Yeah.
Like, I love that game, but goddamn, I have to be in the right mood.
That's basically about it.
God, we just don't have a lot going on right now.
I mean, I've been busy.
Well, I feel like we've both been busy, but as far as things that we
Yeah.
can like talk about on the podcast, like that wouldn't make it repetitive because we could just be like, yeah, Jake's working on videos, Cory's working retail stuff. Like we can keep saying that for every single episode. That's just not like interesting for people.
You know what I can say? I'm writing a paper for one of my classes. And you want to know what the topic is?
What is it?
The Witcher.
Oh my god, you just wanted to get the tally mark.
I am writing a paper on The Witcher for one of my classes.
So, basically what I'm hearing is you're getting an A+.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like, fucking, yeah. Like, who do you think I am, Cory? Like, what kind of stuff do you need to write about? Is it just like the lore perspective or like direction in the game? Like what? I'm assuming it's about the game.
It is about the game.
Okay.
And I forget. It was like it's like a research paper, and I forget what I like specifically worded the research question. But I'm basically going to be writing about The Witcher's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like portrayal of women, basically.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is interesting because, while a lot of the women in the game are very, like, scantily clad and revealing, and there's, like, a fair number of, like, nudity and sex scenes in it, pretty much, like, all of the women in it are in, like, powerful roles. Like, there is a literal lodge of sorceresses that's, like, their own political power, and, like, plenty of, like, warrior women of, like, high skill and class, so it's, like, an interesting, mix of the two, so I'm gonna be looking into that a little bit more.
Yeah, because it's easy for people to overlook that because, you know, tits. Like, people will just, like, look at games like that or look at shows or movies like that where it's just like, oh, they're fucking not wearing anything at all. This is just for, like, you know, horny virgins or whatever. And it's just like, there definitely is a crowd that would gravitate to the game because of that. But then, like, also, you gotta take a look at, like, what the context of the game is, what the lore is, and, like, for The Witcher, a lot of that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, The Witcher 3 literally revolves around you playing as Geralt trying to find this one woman who's, like, destined to save the world.
Yeah, like, you aren't even, like, the powerhouse in the story. It's her.
She's basically the main character. Like, your whole point of the story is to find her to make sure that, like, she can do what she needs to do.
Yeah, like, if anything, you're playing a stepping stone to this stronger character. I mean, of course, like, you're a damn good stepping stone. Like, he's a fantastic character. Like, flagship franchise, of course. Like,
yeah.
Like, it'd be bad if he wasn't written well. But, like, you really, in the grand scheme of things, are taking a backseat to this one woman who's able to just, you know, rip shit.
Like, you are relatively just, like, a normal person, a witcher, albeit, but you're, like, a normal witcher looking for, this woman that's got, like, you know, elder's blood that can, you know, teleport at will and things like that because of her lineage, and like she's the one destined to stop the I forget like what it's called in the game, but like yeah, she literally is destined to like save the universe, and that's what you try to save her for.
But no video games have strong female characters, Jake.
I mean, there aren't there's a lot that do, but like
I know, I was trying to say that sarcastically because there's like, I know that there's definitely that minority of like strong sort of female characters in games, because it is easy to jump into the damsel in distress type deal.
Like you have the strong women in The Witcher, and you have Samus, and you have Lara Croft.
I would argue that the entire female cast of Overwatch and just a lot of female characters in Blizzard games in general.
That's true. A lot of them formerly in Blizzard games were very revealing, to be fair, until recently.
Yeah, but there was always like really strong character like development and story to back up.
Yeah. I feel like one that doesn't usually get like mentioned, Clementine from The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Took a second for me to like my brain to work.
That's a pretty badass little girl you got there.
Oh yeah. Like, God, there's so many just incredible games that like give power to like so many different types of people, and it just sucks that it gets easy for people to put all of them in a box because one game comes out that like is very controversial, or there's one game that is incredibly sexist and everybody focuses on that because that's the title that gets the clicks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the game Hatred?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can't put footage up of this. Not because it's like controversial, because it is. It's because the game sucks.
Oh, does it?
Oh my god, it's the worst twin stick shooter I've ever touched. Like, I didn't buy it. I was over at a friend's house and they had it and they were like, this game's awful. I want you to try it. And like the entire time I was playing it, like, because the game basically is you are a mass shooter and you're trying to kill as many civilians and cops as you can before you get downed yourself. And basically you're a complete, like, you're like, the character is written like he's a 12-year-old edgelord on DeviantArt, where he's just like, fuck everybody, they don't understand me, I'm gonna grab this gun and go blah 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 blah, or whatever. And like, a lot of people, when the game was shown off, they were like, this is horrible, but this is what kids are playing these days? My god, never, video games are awful. And then the game comes out and nobody cares because it's fucking awful. The twin stick shooting is stiff, the quote-unquote glory kills are way too long, and all of the enemies in the game are essentially wet tissue paper, and it's impossible to die.
Yeah.
Like, next to impossible. I just... But the thing is that game, like, holds in people's minds because of the imagery. I mean, hell... Remember that famous scene it was one of the Call of Duty games where you're in a Russian airport, and if you choose to, you can mow down all of the people in there. And like, when you were going into the mission, it was just, it gave you like a warning thing where it's like, this is potentially graphic content. Do you wish to proceed? But the thing is that you don't even need to shoot a shot. You can just walk through the entire level and be perfectly fine. It's just a lot of people decided to go in because they have their guns or whatever, and they're just like, I'm going to shoot them because this is a video game and I have no, like, repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I guess that's why I don't get offended by games being edgy. I get offended when a game is edgy and then backpedals because they know that they're not good enough of a game by themselves to not be able to succeed without controversy.
While you were talking about that, it reminded me of another game that I heard that I have a strange connection to, but I'll get into that later. there's a game called the Super Columbine Massacre RPG.
I know the game.
In which you play the role of the shooters shooting up Columbine. My strange connection to it is the game was developed by Danny Ladone, who is an Emerson alumni.
Wait, so are you talking about where it's like, you know, they have orientation day where it's just like, look at the work of some of the alumni, and like you see like things where it's like Universal Pictures, fucking Nintendo. This guy made a Columbine RPG. Like, what?
Yeah.
Did they just tell you that, like, in a class, or just like, hey, by the way, if you pay attention in class and things work out, you might be able to make the Virginia Tech RPG sequel? And it's like, no.
Well, I learned about him, and I learned about the game at the same time by, I was in my second semester, and part of, like, the requirements to be, like, a film production major is you have to take 2 semesters of, like, film history, and the second semester covered, like, film and media from, like, the 60s to now, and along the way, the professor started talking about video games and the role that they have in media, and he mentioned that, like, violence is a big part of it, and, like, is very much tied to video game history, and brought up this Columbine Massacre RPG, and we basically had to, like, debate whether or not it's a game and whether or not it should be allowed. And he's just like, oh, fun fact, the developer is an Emerson alumni.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I can't. That's
That could be me one day.
Yeah, someday I could make a game like that. Cory, let's go! Like, you just grab out, like, fucking, what's that, like, visual novel software? RenPy?
Yeah, RenPy.
Yeah, you just make a fucking visual novel about that. We're not going to do that. I don't want to. I feel very filthy.
I pulled up his Wikipedia page, and apparently the guy who made this game, he graduated from school with a 4.0 grade point average and was voted most likely to succeed by his peers.
What the fuck?
He went on to study film at Emerson College, and it was during his time at college that he discovered the program RPG Maker. He released the game in 2005. He created the game to explore what caused the gunman to commit the atrocity and dispel the myths that violent video games had played a role in the massacre.
Because, I mean, the whole reason that was incited was because of it's on, like, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Like, comment.
Yeah.
Which, fucking, people were saying for, like, years at that point. It's just like, they're like, oh, Donkey Kong, fucking, there's a video game. They jumped over barrels and now they picked up an AK. Fucking hell.
Oh, people still say that today.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
personally, some of, like, my favorite memes from when, like, that was a big thing was when it'd be like, video games cause violence, and it's just like people playing, like, fucking Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I mean, this is my belief, okay? Video games don't cause violence. Lag does. A lot of people will get angry when it comes to lag, but the thing is that, again, that anger directed towards the game.
Like, I mean, I've never picked up an M16 after a lag spike, so
I'm just
that's a different kind of rage.
Well, no, that's what I'm referring to, is that a lot of people are like, oh, they're pissed at the game. Like, what if they snapped the same way at someone? Would that, like, lead them to kill them? And it's just like, no. Because, see, the thing is that games are an outlet. Games are a way for people to do things and experiment with things that they would never normally do. Like, I know that a lot of people who played like GTA 5 and GTA 4, like they were never the types of people to go to like, strip clubs or do anything with like drugs or whatever, but like that gave them the environment to like mess with it, so of course they did. Like, you give people the ability to be a different character and step outside of themselves for however long they want through like the game. People are going to like mess around and push the boundaries of what they can and can't do. That's just natural. I don't know, that's at least the way that I see it. It's just very rare for me to hear of like people going legitimately apeshit after losing in a game. I mean, the most extreme case that I've heard of was the swatting incidents that was happening like a couple of years back with Twitch.
Oh yeah, people would like swat Twitch streamers for the funny joke.
Yeah, and that plays into the whole like DDoS type thing.
Yeah, I mean like even I like rage at games quite a bit. Like even I'll admit to it, but like
I've only ever been.
That's not the same as like
where you've gotten into legit anger.
Yeah,
and it scared me.
Yeah, and
I remember the Overwatch game where you're just like, "That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm done." Like that was.
And believe me, you haven't seen the worst of it.
I know I haven't, and that's what kind of like freaks me out. Because when we play games, we're usually fairly mellow, except for like when we're just like, "Oh, dude, that's fucking stupid," or "That's hilarious," like that kind of thing.
And like people tend to know me as like the calm, like chilled kind of dude who's like not very high energy, but like when I like, when it's unfair, dude.
Yeah, because then it just feels like it's trying to inconvenience you on purpose.
Yeah, between like lag or inputs that I know I made that like it says I didn't, or like things like that. But that is not the same kind of rage as like, yeah, I'm going to, premeditate the, obtaining of a gun, hiding it until I get to the school and then shooting everyone in it. Like, no. Like, you get angry for like a couple minutes and then you're done. Like, that's your evening. You get mad, you hit stuff, you get tired, you go to bed. Like, that's it.
Yeah, like, there's so many, like, there's so many healthy ways that people deal with anger, but it's so easy for people to, like, try to put everyone in a box because of one person who acts irrationally,
Yeah. Even, like, a lot of the unhealthy ways to deal with anger, like, it's contained. It's not grabbing a gun and going out and, like, shooting people. Like, that's not how you deal with it. If it is, the problem isn't the video game. It has to do with you. You're the problem.
Yeah, like, then there's just some personal shit going down at that point.
Like, we've probably covered this so many times before, but, like, if video games, like, really caused violence, it wouldn't be singled onto America that has all of these shooting problems.
Yeah, because, like, video games are huge in, like, Japan, China, like in Spanish, like, countries and everything. Like, just, like, Mexico is huge when it comes to fighting games, and people rage hardcore at those. Because that's just straight up mechanics based, and you're with the same person, like, right next to each other. Have you ever seen videos of people losing their minds to, like, Smash Bros. Or King of Fighters?
Yeah.
Like, that is legitimate anger. And the thing is that anger, again, will only last for a couple of minutes. And then the person will just be like, okay, that just means I gotta get better. I gotta, like, be able to recognize when I'm in, like, a corner. I need to recognize when to dodge, that kind of stuff. Like, people take it as learning experiences, not something that, like, builds up to the point where they go into their local gun shop.
I think, like, one of my favorite statistics that I heard, that I definitely know I'm going to be, like, butchering the numbers, but it's still, like, a very similar message. It was about how Canada, since, like, the 1980s, has only had, like, 12 major shootings, while America has had hundreds in the last year alone.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, like, that is very statistically significant. Like, if video games caused violence, like, we would be seeing very similar numbers, very close to each other, or even just, like, around the world, but it's just here that we have a problem.
Yeah, and, again, as you know, I don't enjoy getting political. I know we've had a few times in the past where we've talked about it, like, on the podcast, like, we've gotten into political conversations, but, like, you know, when Australia had, like its first and only, like, big mass shooting, they banned assault weapons. You know what's happened since? Not a whole lot of violence. There's been, like, you know, some situations that have obviously cropped up, but now they're, like, super rare. And now, like, with America, we live in, like, a period of time, and it sucks, where literally if someone mentions where it's like, hey, did you hear about the mass shooting? We have to ask which one.
But Cory, what are we gonna do if we want to have an uprising against the government?
Well, gamers can rise up through playing, like, fucking Wii Ring Adventure. What's it called? It's like, it's that, what's that one fitness game for Switch that everybody is saying is actually really good?
I don't know.
I don't know, there's like some rubber ring that comes with it. I don't know. I'm tempted to pick it up because a lot of people are saying that's a legitimately good workout for your legs.
Is this your way of tangenting off of politics?
No, I was just mentioning, like, I legitimately am interested in the game.
Oh,
but, like,
I don't know what the game is.
I don't know. I think it's called Ring Fit Adventure or something like that. It's like an RPG platformer where, like, you're moving your whole body or whatever. It looks like a lot of fun.
I just don't understand, like, most of the reasons that pro-gun people want guns. Like,
Everybody
they'll say,
points to the Second Amendment, but the thing is, you gotta think about when that was written.
like, they'll say, like, oh, they need guns to, like, you know, fight back against a tyrannical government. Not even intruders, like, you know, to protect, that's why we need a well-regulated militia to fight against the British, like, you know, the tyrannical government. But it's like, do we, like, can you really fight back against a government today with, like, a couple of guns?
Like, I don't know. People, like, I know that, I have friends who are, like, you know, heavy, like, hardcore gun owners and stuff like that, and, like, I've talked to them before. I've asked them about, like, you know, weapons, and all of them, they all say the same thing. It's a feeling of security. Like, having firearms generally helps them feel more safe because they look at the world around them and they're like, I need to defend myself if some crazy guy comes in and threatens my life or someone else's. And, like, I understand that, I get that, but that also just, like, that's also just something that's kind of sad when you think about it, where it's just, in order to feel safe, like, for a lot of people to feel safe, they have to have a handgun on them. Because it's so common for people to, like, to just not trust people anymore. Like, I know that there's always just been, like, a level of, like, you know, not trusting just random people, random faces on the street, that kind of thing. Like, because, I mean, until you have a personal attachment, you don't really care too much about other people. But it's gotten to the point where everyone is just, like, wary of each other, and, like, there's this whole stigma of, like, depending on how you dress, that is a sign of, like, you know, wanting to incite violence and things like that. And that's just kind of, it sucks, because then people get insecure about how they look.
I mean, like, I can understand wanting to, like, feel secure, but, like, you don't need a fully automatic weapon to feel secure.
Exactly. A handgun.
You don't need a shotgun to feel secure. Like, just like a single, you know, a bolt action rifle would make you feel secure enough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, like, that's the problem. Like, a lot of the weapons they're used are ones that, like, people have, like, gotten legally for the most part. Or the gun, in one way or another, by someone was obtained legally. It's not like they're smuggling guns from, like, the military, usually.
Yeah.
And, like, some of the worst offenders are people who will modify the guns. They'll make them legal. Like, I forget which shooting it was from, but, like, they modified a pistol that basically looked like a rifle, but the reason it was classified as a pistol was because it had the handle grip. And, like, everything else was just attachments. They included, like, you know, barrel magazines, automatic fire, like, all that shit.
I mean, again, if people want to own guns and they want to fire them, I don't care. It's their thing.
I think we've even talked about this. Like, I would be perfectly fine with, like, a shooting range. Like, those are perfectly cool.
As long as you aren't pointing that shit at me or anyone else, like any actual person, then we're fine. Like one of my friends, he frequents shooting ranges and stuff, and we've talked a little bit about guns, not too much, but like I feel perfectly safe with like that. Cause I am interested in going into a shooting range and just like I say messing around, but like, you know, like actually learning about like the weapons.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe that I would ever want to like own my own firearms or whatever, because I don't really see myself doing that. I'd probably just, like, if I had an intruder, I would just screech at the top of my lungs and throw whatever's near me.
Yeah, I'm more of a knife kind of guy.
Nah. I mean, knives are cool, but then there's also just that part of me that's not a good history of knives, so we're not gonna mess with those. I just prefer picking up things and throwing them, or punching someone really hard in the face.
I prefer knives because they force you to get more personal and force you to enter the personal space of your enemy before you stab them and let their lifeblood flow free as you teach them the lesson for messing with you in your home with your family.
I prefer a broadsword. Just lob off their arms.
But those can be like really restricting in hallways though.
Not if you charge very fast.
Like you try swinging that shit, it's gonna get caught in the ceiling, dude.
No. I know it's like a cleaving weapon, but you can stab.
Like you might as well just get like a fucking fencing sword.
I'll get playing cards, but like the metal ones, and learn how to throw them.
You mean shurikens? You could just get those.
No, because aesthetic.
You want the aesthetic of a playing card.
Yeah.
Why?
Because fucking Joker.
Are you a
The Joker has like playing cards or whatever, and he throws them and like leaves them as a calling card.
Does he?
Yeah. That's part of his look.
Dude, he's had like so many looks.
I know. Like, I still think my favorite iteration of Joker will always be the fucking Jack Nicholson Joker.
Oh.
That's what I really liked.
Oh.
I will say that Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger were really good too.
Oh.
What Joker do you like?
I like the portrayal by let me look it up. I forget his name.
What movie?
It's from Ladies and gentlemen, we're professionals.
We're professionals. We know how to connect the keyboards to computers and then type them while we're in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah, my favorite portrayal of Joker is Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill was really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, I will say, out of all of the Jokers, like, each one has their own sort of, like, they try to bring something different to the character. Like, Joaquin Phoenix wanted to make him more of, like, a personal kind of, like, kind of like just like a guy who snapped kind of thing.
Yeah.
You got Mark Hamill, who was very faithful to the comics, and you have fucking whatever the fuck Suicide Squad Joker was. For the preteens and those who don't feel like they need to grow up.
He was a gangster.
He was not.
Yeah, he was, dude.
You know what he was? He's the white.
Had like at least 3 tattoos.
He's the white kid in the hood that got the N-word pass. That's what he was. Like, he is like. I love how what was it? The actor who played him, I forget, was it Leto?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was Jared Leto, right? Cuz he was going on a whole thing about how he was pissed that the Joker movie performed as well as it did because they canceled his solo Joker movie.
Oof.
And I'm just like, yeah, probably because the closest thing to like you being Joker in that Suicide Squad film was a scene that got cut from the final trailer. Or like, well, it's in the final trailer. It's not in the final cut of the movie. It's on the DVD and nowhere else.
Oh.
And it was like the one scene that actually made me think where it's like, hey, you know what? You could be a Joker. But then like you hear the stories about like just how he treated castmates with like sending dead rats in the mail because he's like, I gotta get into character.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, do you know who your character is?
He's the Joker.
No, his portrayal was a joke. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, controversial statement. I didn't like Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Literally
how dare you?
I am pissed. I'm still pissed that they got an Oscar. And the only reason they got an Oscar, according to like one of the people that are part of the like, you know, that panel that votes for the movies every year, was because they thought Margot Robbie was hot and they wanted her to walk on stage.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Nah.
But don't you
Not
remember
underwear.
that one shot from the movie where she had a bra on?
Oh no. It's like people wear underwear.
Yeah, but like it was
We are.
shit.
I think we've had the conversation on the podcast before, right?
Have we? About what?
I just don't find like underwear sexy or anything like that. Like I understand like, you know, people when it comes to stuff like that where it's just like, oh man, you know, you saw her bra or whatever. Oh shit, like that kind of thing. But like, you go to the beach and there's just people in like bikinis or whatever, and that's like the same thing. And it's just like, who cares? I understand like there's, I guess, the intimate aspect, but the thing is that it's just like I don't care if like if you're wearing like underwear or whatever. Like I the best conversation that I had about this was with a friend where like she fully agreed with the same exact points I was making, where they're just like, I feel like people would be more uncomfortable if I told them that I wasn't wearing underwear. It's like, exactly, like that's just a thing people do. People wear clothes.
I mean, we could get into this, but we're also like approaching an hour.
I know, and you wanted to keep like the episode fairly short.
Yeah,
we'll just
because
have that little rant at the end to like offset the fact that we talked about like Columbine and gun control.
But yeah, I wanted to keep it short because I'm sick and I'm going home over the weekend where I won't be able to have my computer, and I have like homework to do between now and then. So yeah, we should meet up and like get food or something this weekend. Yeah,
it'd be nice.
So
but
this episode's probably going to be light on like the edits and stuff, but
that's fine. But
next time we're gonna treat you to something special.
You mean something special by having me edit instead?
I didn't even realize that, but yeah,
where you'll have like a really heavy edits for the first like 10 minutes, and then everything just goes to being like bland, and then like it will get uploaded like a day or two late.
You know what? If you want me to edit the next one, then we can
No,
do that.
I'll do it. I just gotta get better about like managing my time. But hey, aside from that, I mean, I'm glad that we're just going to brush under that, like, you know, the underwear rant that I just had.
You know what?
That's definitely.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll start off the next episode with that.
The next episode? No.
Then
You know, I'm going to forget about it too.
you know what?
And
I'll
you're-
fucking write it down.
I mean, like, I'm just pretty much just going to say the same things where it's just like, I don't.
Then why
I
are you
don't-
complaining that we're brushing it off?
Well, no, I just found it funny where you're just like, oh, we could get into this, but we're going to hit an hour.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So like, are we talking about it or not?
I mean, we're talking about it right now.
Are we talking? Do you want to keep talking about it?
I mean, I said my piece. I don't think.
Then what are we brushing off?
I don't know. You know what? Let's. I don't know. Like, I guess. Hey, kids, all of you out there. Well, not kids, but like anyone out there. However you feel about like underwear or whatever, if you agree with me, let me know, because I definitely know that there's more people out there who agree with like the fact that it is not like it's not attractive, like just the idea of that, where it's just like it's just a thing people do.
If you're not wearing underwear, leave a like.
Jake, what if that's how we get a spike in likes? What if that's how we break, like, you know, 20 likes?
Yeah, we get a spike with 7 likes.
We get a spike with having any likes.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't do this for likes anyways. We're just doing this because it's fun.
Yeah. What he said.
Meanwhile, Jake's just like staring at the like creator page, waiting until we can monetize stuff.
It's just me looking like Gollum in the corner.
Yeah. We get a little bit of kickback from like revenue or whatever, and you're just like, and it's like 17 cents.
We hit like our 1000th view. I get my single penny and I just put it in my mouth.
You eat it. And he's like, why did you do that? He's like, I will not split with the likes of you. And you crawl underneath like a table or whatever.
Yeah.
Also,
man, if I was feeling better, I might even animate that.
Oh, hey Jake,
Yeah?
you know what? Speaking of animation, this will be the last thing, and then we'll wrap things up.
Yeah.
But I'm actually working on an animation for one of the parts that we had in this for this here podcast. That was a sentence. I'm gonna try again. I'm working on animating one of the previous podcasts, like just like a episode that I really liked.
Ooh.
And so far, the storyboard's actually looking pretty good. I'm using the software that my friend Beck I mentioned before, and it's kind of tricky. Like, I'm trying to get the hang of it, but I like it. It's working out. But yeah, once I get that done, we could actually probably upload it to the episode. Well, the page, the web. Thank you for listening to the Pixel Venture Podcast.
Let me rephrase that for you. We'll have an animation to upload whenever we feel lazy for a week.
Well, it's not a full episode, it's just a clip.
But it's like a special clip.
I was just going to upload it in between episodes.
Oh.
Look, the video, like the clip itself, is like 1.5 minutes long.
Man, this is one of the weeks I wish we had like a backlog of things, but we don't. So I have to push through being sick and having schoolwork and papers about The Witcher and having to get
Is that
it
another
done.
tally mark? I don't
No,
think that counts.
we've gone over this. It's 1 tally an episode.
You sound so upset.
I'm sick. I've been running on cold medicine for like 5 days.
But like...
And I've been
Hey,
the
Jake.
other co-host.
Hey, Jake.
Hello?
Jake.
Yes?
I just want to say that I appreciate all the work that you put in the podcast. Like, legit.
Dude, when you started taking over, like, editing every other episode, like, you have, like, a little bit of an idea of what I've been doing weekly.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, I'm not gonna complain and say, like, I do all the work. But, like, yeah, it's definitely not as easy as it used to be when it was, like, first track of audio, second track of audio, we're done.
Yeah, like, because it was thanks to me wanting to do dumb edits for one of the episodes that we had in the past, where you're just like, okay, that's what we do now.
Yeah. Here's a little fun history of the podcast. It was split where I would edit the audio and you would
do the little Microsoft Paint art.
Yeah, you would do the art. So it was like a fair split because audio is not hard and art isn't hard. But then once we started doing animations and you couldn't really like just make drawings anymore, I had to do the video editing because I was already doing the audio editing, and you can't really do those two separately.
I mean, how about this? Like, what I could do for like the episodes that you edit, like the animations and stuff, I can do the audio and then send you the audio.
We could do that, but like, I mean, yeah, we could. But, like, if, like, let's say you were doing the audio and I was doing the video, there would be, issues with, like, what if you were, like, late with the audio? Or even, like, vice versa. Like, we just pushed it back and gave the other person only, like, a day to work on it, or, like, a couple hours.
Yeah. What I would probably do is that, like, right after we record the episodes, you would send me audio, I would edit it like that night and get it to you like by the next morning, so you can give like your opinions if you want things to be changed.
I mean, if you want to start editing audio, you can go right ahead. I can just send you the audio.
Yeah, I'm down. I was actually going to suggest doing that for today because I know you're sick.
Alright.
You won't really be able to do too much with the edits, so if it gives you extra time to do some fancy little things like you know, throw in like a random thing here or there or whatever, like,
sure. And now that I'm only editing the video, I might even throw things in here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, there you go. And we could throw things in for when we mention that. But anyways, wow, we pulled a lot of time from just like being like, oh, we're going to end the episode now. But yeah, anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pixel Venture podcast. I've been Cory.
And I've been the other co-host,
Jake.
Yes.
Nice. See you guys next week.
See?